Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joined remotely from a secret unknown location, he's, you know him, Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, good evening.
Oh yeah, welcome. Welcome to another slamming edition of the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Thanks for joining us, new listeners and repeat offenders from across this
definitely repeat offenders.
Greeny blue planet we like to call home. Yes, we do. Thank you very much. We got a fucking bonkers episode for you this week. Today it's all to do with time travel, parallel worlds, conspiracies, and a phenomenon where a good percentage of people see things slightly differently in a different point of view. That's right. I think this week we're going to be talking about the Mandela Effect.
Oh,
a topic we have discovered and discussed on this show. Before we've done a whole episode about it and tried to debunk it. If you don't know what it is, the Mandela Effect became a thing when Fiona Broome, a self-identified paranormal consultant, detailed how she remembered the former South African president Nelson Mandela dying in the 1980s from prison, basically. And now it's not just her. A few other people seem to remember that as well. Although,
I sort of seem to remember it as well, to be honest.
Do you? I mean, I remember him being released. But again, we can go into all this a little bit later. As we know, Nelson Mandela did actually live until 2013.
He did?
Well, this sparked off a whole thing about misremembering and what, other little things that people have noticed
around the world that are different.
That they claim have changed. Yeah, like we'll be looking into it. It's a fascinating topic. I'm sure you'll agree.
It's a topic.
It is deep. It is deep. So we'll be going into it, diving deep into the Mandela rabbit hole a little bit later on. That is something to stick around for. Before we do all that, we've got a few bits coming up. What have you been up to this week, Taylor?
Me, I've just been looking into, history, just learning a little bit more.
Doing a bit of research.
Because I was into the Anunnaki, wasn't I, and stuff, and I've been looking into Bible, like Egyptians and like Bible and why
pharaohs and whatnot.
Where seems to have.
I'm interested in the timeline of it all because, I mean, honestly, I don't have a clue where any of these pharaohs or, like, these ancient Egyptian stories. It seems like these pharaohs seem to have quite a long reign. Over these things, but like when you think about it, it's like, well, how long were the reigns and in what order were they? And it's something that I've never really looked into, but I do quite have an interest in. So, what have you found out then? Anything that you might think, that'd make a good episode?
Well, there's one place. I think it's Peru. I think it was Peru. I can't remember the name of the place because it's got like kind of weird name, but it's got like H's stones all over the place and like very, very, very finely. You couldn't do it today. You could not cut.
I've seen it. Yeah.
So finely.
Yeah, I've seen them where the stones are joined together and like.
And they're perfectly like.
And they believe that it must have been some sort of technology that was used to create it.
It absolutely shows that like in the past there has to have been something, we don't know what. Even I do believe that there was not even that. I think there was obviously knowledge that we've lost. They knew how to do things back then, or had access to things that we don't have access to now. And there is about the narrative of stuff, like we always get thrown into the same old structure. Whereas actually there was
this is the thing that when you say that, I mean it's like the narrative of what? I mean the narrative of human existence.
You're supposed to, with commas in the air, it's supposed to follow the line. Whereas if in reality you look closely at other stuff, it will make you change your perspective of what you've been told.
You mean just generally in terms of education? Because I mean, because sometimes I find it like when we were in school, it's like you are taught a certain amount of things, but at the end of the day, it's like how much can you fit in, into school? I mean, you can give you a child a broad overview of things and then say, well, this happened, ancient Egypt happened, it was a thing, right? We're not going to... I don't think school ever taught me, like, the narrative, right? The only narrative, it was the nativity, There was a story of, like, a thing that happened, when it happened, what's supposed to have come of it, in other words, it's like all the rest of it, I was never taught in-depth narrative of any subject. It was always... Here's a bit of an overview. It's up to you. No, if you find an interest by it, you go and learn it yourself, because we're not going to teach you.
If they turn around and tell you to learn it yourself, they generally give you the direction of certain books. You know, like the famous books that supposedly this and happened. And then later on you find, actually, if you have a look at this, it connects to this and this as well. Or, like the Bible. The Bible was
that's not what
parts, but there was only 2 parts put into it, that kind of thing.
It's all bullshit.
It's all on
anyway,
what you
right. Moving on anyway, because we're not talking about ancient Egypt this week. If you might have thought we were, this week nothing really. I've been playing Call of Duty Zombies, getting to high rounds on that. Other than that, bit of Christmas. Christmas is coming round the corner now, so got my tree up. Made the house a little more Christmassy. Other than that, fixed some technical issues, so we're all up and running, full steam ahead podcast-wise. So website will be up to date this week. Plus, we're on iTunes now, so we expect some reviews coming your way, because we've never been able to give out reviews because iTunes never worked, but we'll smash that off. But before that, we've got a little game we like to play early on in the show, where we compete for brain of never a straight answer, if you like, and we pit each other a riddle to see who can come. We'll just put each other on the spot, really. And it's my turn this week to give Taylor a riddle. The score currently stands at 5-2 to me.
Yeah, is it? Hold on, is it 5-2? I thought it was 5-3.
Oh, have I not updated it? Right, okay, I'll give you that. 5-3. Right, okay, well, it's a chance to catch up a little bit more.
Sometimes no one moved.
So it's a chance to regain a bit more, get back in the game a bit here. So I've got you a nice, easy one. I think it's a nice, easy one. So.
Wicked. Well, let's see.
I'll set the mood for you. So, with a score of 5-3, can Taylor come up in the fucking points here? Right, okay, your riddle this week. What coat can you only put on when it's wet?
What coat you can only put on when it's wet?
Yeah.
Shower curtain?
Sorry?
I don't know, waterproof coat?
What coat can only be put on when it's wet?
Could only be put on?
Yeah. Well, while you're having a think about that, the coat that can only be put on when it's wet. Well, we've got an advert affiliate this week of the Daily High Club subscription boxes. Subscribe for only $29.99 and get over $100 of value in every month's pack. This month, they've got like lots of bits and pieces, paraphernalia, custom glass, pokers, cones, clippers, lighters, hemp wicks, and so much more. Obviously, they've got Black Friday sale on at the moment, which is coming to an end imminently. So get over there to save 30%. Off all stuff. They do a lot of other stuff as well. They do edibles and whatnot as well. So get over to the Daily High Club. Link in the description. Cheers, me days. There you go.
Me days. Oh, yes.
So I don't even know if I'm always getting my buttons mixed up. So, and there you go. Well, have you had to think about your riddle?
I'm still thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it's a normal coat at the minute.
What coat can you only put on when it's wet? We'll come back to it a bit later on. But first, we've got a segment that we normally like. Well, it depends. It comes up every now and again. And it is... NASA, why don't you get a job? Indeed, NASA, why don't you get a job? On here at NASA, we want to get all our listeners. Obviously, we're in an economic crisis at the moment with Corona. And there's a lot of people out there who've been made redundant, just looking for a new way in the world, a new path. Yeah, their job doesn't exist anymore or whatever. So we're looking around for the best jobs that our listeners can, try and apply for, potentially. Or try and look into, anyway. I found a couple of pearlers this week. How have you got on?
I found a couple of pearlers myself, to be honest.
Ooh, I am intrigued.
Go for one of them.
All right, go on, crack on. Let's hear it.
Well, hold on. Let's crack on with car sitter.
A car sitter?
Car sitter.
There's a lot of this car sitter.
So your car don't get stolen.
Yeah, there's a couple of these, haven't they? Where's that based?
That's based all over the place, to be honest.
So
Europe.
Car sitter. We used to do that at football grounds. Go on, mate. Do you want me to watch your car?
Yeah, but they never used to sit in it, did they? You used to go
you'd sit on the curb next to it. It'd be like that. What's it, Gene Hunt? It'd be like, anything happens to that motor, I'll come round your house and stamp on all your toys.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of fret.
Yeah.
Usually sorts it out.
So a car sitter, it's not exactly, it sounds a bit of a cold job. A lot of sitting, unless you sat in the car, but then you just look like you're doing dodgy stuff.
Yeah, but in Central and Southern Americas, even North America, I suppose you could say, is there are some violent places where, as soon as you park your car up, they're fucking having it.
Do you know where's not a horrible, dodgy place?
Where?
Paradise Island.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds nice, that, doesn't it? Paradise Island. It's just, it's in the name. Clues in the name.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, yeah.
Guy here, Ben, he's 34. He's from Petersfield. Well, he was. Beat off nearly 35,000 applicants from around the world for this dream assignment. Basically, he gets to swim, explore, relax in an amazing tropical island and get paid for it for 6-month contract. Basically, he's the caretaker of a tropical Australian island, Paradise Island. Comes with a villa, complete with a pool. How amazing is that?
I saw one of them about 5 years ago. I think.
Not only that, before he even got the job, he had to spend 4 days there just to experience it, have an interview.
Yeah,
so even if he didn't get the job,
he got the right person.
Yeah, he still got like a nice trip out of it, even if he didn't get it. Do you know what he did? So well in.
Yeah, I bet the world had changed a bit. When you come back out of that kind of contract.
Well, how do you mean? Well, now it has. It's like I was on Paradise Island, now it's Corona Island.
Yeah,
it's probably one of the only places that you can.
Yeah, Corona free it could be.
Yeah. Go on, have you found any more jobs?
I have. I quite like the idea of this one. Iceberg breaker.
Your jobs are all cold this week. I'm like,
iceberg.
It's like, if only we would have had an iceberg breaker, that Titanic might have made it.
Well, funny enough, actually, because since the Titanic, it's called the International Ice Patrol, and you're basically a part of the Coast Guard.
The International Ice Brigade.
Yeah, and you go in, you get 20 grand start-up pay of 20 grand, and you just find the big ices to get away
from ices.
other like ships.
Oh, is that big enough? Just get the big ice. Only get the big ice.
Get that big ice.
Don't get... Oh, that's a waste of time. Listen, big ice. Anyway, that's all right. Fair enough. So if you want to go out breaking the ice, then it's a way to break. It's a way to break the ice, isn't it? Ba-bum-ch. If you want to go to... I've got an app for that somewhere, but I ain't pressing buttons now. It'll just confuse me. I found this brilliant. I mean, and again, this is a testament, to being a bit brash and brazen, when you're looking for your new career, because a 6-year-old boy who wanted to become the director of York's National Railway Museum, landed himself a job there, as Director of Fun.
Oh,
what
man.
a fucking title, that. Director of Fun. Basically, the youngster got the role at the National Railway Museum after applying to replace the retired boss Andrew Scott. Sam sent off a handwritten letter applying to be the director, asking for an interview. He basically said that, I'm only 6, but I think I can do the job. I've got an electric train set at home, and it's in, it sounds like, what's his name? What's that guy called who does the, I am Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only 6.
Yes, Tiny Tim, innit?
I'm 6, nearly 5, 3, nearly 6.
He's
brilliant.
He's funny,
if you've not seen him, go Google Tiny Tim on YouTube. Absolutely brilliant. But this Sam, he's wrote this letter, and they were like so blown away by his ambition and impressed. They've appointed him honorary director of fun. I'll mince that. But I mean, you don't get there if you don't try. I mean, Sam honestly thought he could give the applicants run for his money. Likes trains. Why not?
Exactly. That's what I thought when I first heard it. It was like, smart kid, like, he's starting his career ladder straight away.
Yeah.
I don't want to be at the bottom, I want to be at the top.
Not only that, I mean, it's like, it kind of puts it out there as well that, you're never too above, like, your station in terms of, you might think, I was only doing this, but I might go for that, next level job this time. Do you know what I mean? You might surprise yourself. Get it? So, well, there you go. That's NASA. Why don't you get a job this week? I thought it was pretty good. If you see any crazy jobs, or if you want to get involved with our other segment, What's Fucked Up Where You're From, you know what to do. Send us an email at neverastraightanswer@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you. Alternatively, you can go to the website, send us an email through there as well. Moving on.
Yeah.
Like I said, we promised you we were going to be talking about it this week.
We did.
The Mandela Effect.
It's a big effect.
Oh, it makes me woozy just even thinking about it. The Mandela Effect is where a group of people remember something from which there's no evidence. It's named from many remembering Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s and not the 2013. No. Rather than accept their memories of fault, many people basically expressed claim that it was an incident of people going into the past, potentially. People have theories ranging from CERN experiments and to believe in its evidence of time travel. There's a new movie this year called The Mandela Effect.
Yeah, I've seen the clip of this.
Have you? I've not seen the trailer for it yet. I've got the synopsis here. A man becomes obsessed with the fact that events that have been collectively misremembered by thousands of people, believing the phenomenon is a symptom of something larger.
I think this film sort of over dramatic. It makes it.
Yeah, because he starts obsessing, and eventually leads him to the question: is reality? Is reality real itself? Basically.
Oh yeah.
Is reality real?
That is a.
There you go.
Is a question.
Directed by David Guy Levy. So yeah, looks good. I mean, I've seen the poster; looks pretty cool. But yeah, some people do believe that the Mandela Effect is a thing. The Mandela Effect could be a proof of time travel. One famous theory of the Mandela Effect is that due to time travel is a concept of moving through time, obviously. Therefore, if somebody's changed something, like a butterfly effect or gone back in time, things might have been affected back then, just slightly. Or maybe it was an experiment in the fact that they might just change something to see if it's noticed or if it has bigger ripple effects in the future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'd invented a time machine, firstly I'd want to kind of see what the actual theory of time is. Yeah, I want to know, can I change something, then come home and then see a marked change in that. Yeah, and
well,
do you know, like
by accident?
Well, no, I know you could do it by accident, but rather than do it by accident, wouldn't you start experimenting? Right. Well, what I'll do is I'll stop this from happening. Yeah, and then I'll come back and see how that affected. Yeah, you do small things like a logo or I don't know, a product or something like, or a movie line. Yeah, because this is what these things tend to be around. Yeah, generally, it's all something that's in pop culture, that people, you see, but how much of it do you actually pay attention to? Do you know what I mean? Because there's some of these Mandela effects that I was looking into, and I was like, well. And I've said this before, it's a case of that they've rebranded or they've changed the logo or... a lot of people also argue that, well, no, it was never there. There's this hyphen or this, like, coloration or... So, for example...
Yeah, let's go through some examples.
So I mean, I've got some great examples here. I mean, have you any spring to your mind? I've got a common example here. Tank Man, right? Because we've had a conversation about this one before, right? Yeah. Generally, anyway, right? Because you remember it a bit differently to me, I think, right? So the Tank Man is one of the most iconic symbols of the Tiananmen Square massacre of 1989. Many theorists claim that it was the protester who stood in front of the tank was run over by him. They insist that they was taught it in school, they saw it in textbooks, they've watched the footage and can still visually remember and perfectly accurate memory of it. Now, the Tank Man was basically, he's known as an unknown protester, or unknown rebel.
Tiananmen Square,
He stood in front of the tanks, right, on June 1989, right? Yeah. Now, the day before, June the 4th, that was when the massacre took place, right? It was a load of protesters. They were in the school. They were out protesting, right? Yeah. Most people think that that's what sparked it, right? And say that, oh, the guy was, run over during the massacre. He wasn't. It was the next day, and he stood in front of the tank as if to say, no more, right?
Yeah, so he's trying to close it down.
Who knows if he was then dragged away by, officials and tortured. No one's ever seen him since. No one knows his name. He's the unknown protester, right? Yeah. Now, you'd think that somebody might have known him, but he didn't come out. He didn't. But, like, at the end of the day, I've seen the footage. I remember seeing the footage. I remember seeing it in textbooks. He protested. He even climbed on the tank, right? But he didn't get run over by it. And I think a lot of people confuse the two dates, what happened on the 4th of June and what happened on the 5th of June. Well, the 5th of June was him going, no more, you've literally just... It wasn't, it was over 2 days.
Yeah, but after it started off, then they wanted to shut down Tiananmen Square. So as they're trying to shut down Tiananmen Square, that's where the protester stood in the way of the tank and went, no, we're going to have our fucking talk. We're going to tell you. And that's where it kicked off. The guy stood there.
He literally had his shopping bags. He was not there for a protest. He looked like he was off going home, and a load of tanks came up the road, and he just went, nah, and stood there and went, no, right? If he would have been run over then, it would be a whole thing, why would they cover that up in textbooks?
Well, then tell me why people believe that. Then.
Because it's misremembering. I think because, the end of the day, right? You could have been 1989, right? Where was you? How old was you in 1989?
Me, I was roughly about 40.
Right, I was younger than that, right? I was 8 years old, right? So you were probably running in and out of the house, right? Going to see your mates, doing bits and pieces, not really paying attention to the news, or whatever. And you catch glimpses of it, right? And then you might have gone out that night and go, oh, I've just seen some guy stood in front of a tank. Did he? And then your mate goes, oh, did he get run over? Oh, I don't know. But that creates something what they call a false memory, yeah. And you also get backed up by other people, because it's like you could turn around to me and say, I could bring up this but not know all the facts, and you turn around and go, oh yeah, well this is what happened, yeah. And then later on, someone brings it up to me and I recall not what I know was fact, but what you told me. Yeah. And I start recalling it. Whispers. Exactly, and it becomes a Chinese whispers situation. Yeah. I mean, the Tiananmen Square thing, I mean, I believe that he did not get run over, but there's a lot of people out there who do. And the man was never run over. Do you know what I mean?
Mistake from what I was saying, because the thing was, I didn't just go and see it on the news at that time. I'd seen it later on as well a number of times, and it was like, did it happen? Because it's one of them.
Is Taylor affected by the Mandela Effect, or am I? This is the thing. Which one's an accurate account? History books will show you that I'm right. But
if people have a different, supposedly people have a different view on colours, because like I've said before, when you see red and I see red, we're actually seeing red at a different spectrum.
And I've told you, the colours don't exist. It's your brain decoding light.
Data
right, anyway.
Could the same thing be happening with visual? Because we only see 22% of what we see anyway.
Not at all. Not at all. So what? So you're walking around in a totally different world than I am? Yeah, and whereas I see a man...
But you see in a different light than me.
Yeah, what?
Slightly, not a lot, but ever so slightly.
No, because there's a difference, because in one scenario, I mean, at the end of the day, right, for how you see the colour red to how I see the colour red, and then seeing a physical event happening in real life, right, where has a result, in one scenario, the guy dies and doesn't go on having a life, right, and in scenario 2, he lives. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's two totally drastic outcomes, and for two people to be stood in the crowd there and go, "Did you see that? He got run over," and me turn around and say, "No, he didn't."
Well, on that.
That's not how I saw it.
Yeah, I can see it on that point.
Do you know what I mean?
For like letters and stuff like that, if you consider putting in dyslexia. And the colours of what's being put there, it can make you look at it. I
just think it's more to. I mean, we'll go into why in a bit, right? Well, first we've got some more examples.
Let's throw a few of these out too.
I've got a couple of the more well-known ones, obviously here. Mirror on the wall.
Yeah. Who's the fairest of them all?
Who is the fairest? Well, that one's a quote from Cinderella, is it?
It is. Yes, it is.
And basically, in that movie, that's what most people would assume. The witch says, "Mirror, mirror." It's not. It's magic mirror on the wall.
It's not.
Is it not? Which one is it?
No. Mirror, mirror on the wall. It's gotta be.
No,
that's how I remember it.
It's magic mirror on the wall. So. There's that. That's an example. They claim to say that's... I mean, why would you go back and change something like that? I mean, or is it just... We Are the Champions by Queen, right?
Yeah.
So I always do this myself, right? And I must have seen it in a film, or they've used it in a soundtrack, and it's had this ending bit where it's gone, "We are the champions of the world." Yeah. At the end, right at the end, he says, "of the world," and nowhere in any of the recordings, apart from one live show maybe, is that lyric in there, right?
But I've done that. I do that now.
I do it now.
From Method Man.
Oh, do you?
I say a certain word at the end where he says it in another track before.
Oh, right, in a live show or something like that.
It automatically makes you think, well, he said that in the first song, that's how it should be, and he just missed it off the second song, that lyric.
Honestly, I mean, I've always said "of the world," like, but I wouldn't. I mean, I never noticed it wasn't on other recordings because I'd always just sing it anyway. So maybe I drowned it out and just assumed he said it.
Yeah, well, that's another thing, isn't it? It's a lot of it assuming.
Well,
there's a lot of assuming there.
Got an interesting one here, which we did cover, right? And I don't even... right, so I did a bit of investigating into this one last time, right?
Okay.
and I found out some very interesting facts about this, right? I feel like I debunked this one a while back, right? But it's the Sex in the City, Sex and the City drama, right? The show Sex in the City isn't called Sex in the City. It's called Sex and the City, right? Yeah. And I discovered that actually the show was called both at one point, right?
Yeah.
Because the website Sex in the City, Sex and the City were both created.
Yes, it was.
And I can report Sex in the City came first. Yeah.
It did. So everyone was sort of right.
So, yeah, so Sex in the City was a working title or a title of that show, right? Yeah. There are websites that do archives of websites, right? You can also search domain names and find out who they're registered to and who created that website, right? Yeah. So you can search for it, and it is the same company, same marketing company that created both, right?
Yeah. So in this one, everyone's correct.
Everyone's correct. It was actually called Sex in the City, and then they changed it to Sex and the City and created a whole new website, which was exactly the same, right? Yeah. And that's why, if you Google both, if you type in both into the search bar, they both go to Sex and the City website. Yeah. Because they own them both. They might not own them both now, but they did. I think that's debunked, right? I think that one isn't a thing. I think that's just a case of there's clear evidence to say that they did create a website with that name. No other reason to suggest that there was a name change there at some point.
Yeah.
There you go. Another name that might be a bit relevant at the moment with all the corona things, John Hopkins University was the corona. They did the big corona map website. Yeah. Which I was addicted to for months. And how would you? What sounds better, John Hopkins or Johns Hopkins?
John Hopkins.
Yeah. Well, would you be surprised if it's Johns?
Johns.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, but like in a lot of languages, like up north to down south, like we like to take the certain letters out of the words.
Oh,
slightly to make it to change it slightly.
Pronunciation, innit? Oh, yeah, it's like we put O's in everything. We put O's in everything here in Manchester, don't we? Manchester.
Yeah.
Burger.
Yeah.
Water.
Yeah.
Can you get me some water with that burger? Anyway.
Did you know what DEA stands for?
Dead on Arrival.
Is it? Oh, no.
No, go on. What was it? DIA. No, DOA. Well,
yeah. DEA.
DEA.
DEA in America.
Oh, it's the thingy, isn't it? It's narcotics or whatever. Oh, no, it's the department. No, it's what Thingy did. He was a DEA agent, weren't he? In
enforcement.
Yeah. So it's like, what is it?
Drug enforcement.
Agency.
No.
What then?
It's actually because it's administration.
Okay.
But everyone knows it. Majority of people know it as agency. Well, actually, it's always been.
Yeah, but that isn't again just assumption. And again, right? So we'll go into this. There's a thing called confabulation, right? Yeah. Which we'll go into in a bit. Yeah, and I think that comes into that. Yeah. So I'll come back to this one. Right.
All right. Then, what colour was Elvis's hair?
Blonde. No, I don't know. We've never met him.
He was blonde.
Was he blonde? Did he dye it?
He was blonde. It was just that he dyed his hair every now and again. And that's why everyone believed his hair was black.
Black and white movies as well. Back in the day.
I thought a lot of the beginnings was black and white movies.
As well, back in the day, yeah, when it was black and white movies, they used to have to slap on a lot of makeup on them. So it would make sense that if they, because of all the lights, because of all the lights, they would have had to darken his hair. Yeah, because it might not have looked very good on camera. Yeah.
So maybe
he was blonde, and I don't know, never met the fella.
Yeah, no, neither do I. All right, then.
Go on.
What do horses have that
Are you trying to give me another riddle? What's with the riddles?
I just don't want to tell you what it is.
Give us it again. Tell us
horses,
this. Yeah.
What horses have that on the face?
Big dicks. Sorry, it's about shame. Maybe.
What have horses had on their faces? But I don't even think I've seen a horse to this day. I saw one the other day and I never seen one of these.
Is it like a little white patch on the nose?
No.
Go on.
Moustaches.
Horses have moustaches.
Horses have moustaches,
They
and
don't.
some of the pictures are fucking weird.
Not all of them.
Hand in front of their face and shit, and it's like I've never ever seen a horse with a tash. But they reckon
they've always had them.
Have tashes.
It's funny that actually, because I've got a Mandela Effect sort of thing here about animals, and it's about patches of like hair, right?
Yeah.
So, this one came out this year, and it's got people in the Mandela Effect world talking and buzzing. Tigers, have they always had those white patches on the back of their ears?
Not in the inner ears.
Behind them, like a white patch behind their ear, like on the back of their ears. A white spot on each side, like. Go and check the photos out. They've all got them. By the looks of it.
I've never noticed that before. I have noticed the white patch, the white within the ears.
No, it's behind their ears. Well, I've never snuck up on a tiger got it in an headlock.
Yeah, sorry, we don't get a lot of them in England.
And we don't, exactly. We don't really get many in England. So, I mean, so there's a few examples. I mean, C-3PO is one we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
So C-3PO has always been gold, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, would it surprise you if I said he had a silver leg?
No.
Because he always has had a silver leg.
He has, but it's sort of, unless you told me.
You wouldn't notice. You just see a gold guy, don't you? You don't really go.
They're both shiny, aren't they?
Wait
the legs
a minute.
are shiny, and it's like, you know what I mean? So that could be gold, but, just off a little tint or something.
I think this is the thing as well. It's like your brain, like you were saying about, I think when you see things and you're not concentrating, so you might have been sat there watching Star Wars and not really concentrating, but concentrating enough to say, I've seen Star Wars, but not concentrating enough to give you fucking scene-by-scene analysis and say, Han Solo was wearing... And, that sort of critical...
my phone went and I had to answer the
you get making a brew or nip into the loo or whatever, right? There's points in movies where you lose great concentration, right? So if... I wouldn't blame anyone to miss that C-3PO had a silver leg, Because, like I say, you see a gold, shiny man and you assume that he's a fully gold, shiny man. I would never think... Is he all gold, or has he got bits of him that, it never crossed my mind, but it's so blatant when you notice it, that I wouldn't worry. Why did I not notice that for sooner?
It's a case of when you've seen that movie, these are big blockbusters, you know what I mean? So, and they're on the TV a lot of the time, especially around Christmas time.
Mate, I had the toys.
You see them all the time. So then at least one or two times you're going to sit down and actually concentrate and watch it.
I mean, as a kid, I had all the Star Wars figures, right?
Yeah. It's on every Christmas.
And when I first found out, I noticed that C-3PO did have a silver leg, and I went, "Oh shit, yeah, he does." Yeah.
I can only on the third.
Wait a minute. So did they not make the toys with a silver leg? Because, yes, they did. When I googled the toy, he has a silver leg, and I was like, no, I had this toy. Why? I mean, unless I just kind of never questioned it.
I probably got a cheapo or something. Someone's fucking made it in a Chinese factory or something. Bang, there you go. But no, we can't afford not taking colouring the legs. Fuck it.
I mean, there's countless other examples. I mean, I've got absolutely loads here.
Frosty the Snowman.
Go on, what's about Frosty?
1970s. This might basically for the Americans on this one, because in the 1970s they had a thing called Frosty the Snowman.
Right.
Who sold like stuff.
Yeah, I remember Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, Well, according to data now, he's saying that he's never had a red scarf on.
Okay.
Well, apparently, a lot of people remember him with a red scarf on.
Yeah, but that's it. There's loads of things where people have remembered, like a character in cartoons or whatever, and they thought, "Oh, mate, this isn't right." I mean, like Curious George not having a tail, for instance. You know, I mean, there's just too many kind of like Pikachu, right?
Oh yeah.
So Pikachu, for example, he's supposed to be have a light. Oh, he doesn't, but a lot of people draw him and remember him having this lightning bolt on his tail. Yeah, when he doesn't, it's just like a black ball. Yeah, on his tail. Now, apparently, that's more to do with the fact that he has it on his ears. Yeah. And it makes sense to people's brains to top off that with the same on the tail. Do you know what I mean?
Now a character that has a black bit on his tail.
What there is?
For the same, there is that, and that's where the mixture could be blamed on that. But in the past, I suppose you couldn't blame it on that. But now they have got a character looking the same, but with a black tail.
Okay. What, a Pikachu?
Yeah. Basically, it's roughly the same. And I think they thought, oh, well, we're going to have another character in the same species.
But this one does.
Slightly. Might as well go back to, a Mandela Effect or something.
I mean, go on.
What about secondary films?
How do you mean secondary films?
Right, well, a lot of people, and I sort of remember this myself, I've got to be honest. You remember the film Batteries Not Included?
Yes.
Right,
it's a great film, actually, Batteries Not Included.
But there was a second film called
Batteries Still Not Included, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that?
I do.
Yeah, well, it didn't exist.
Oh, did I remember that they were going to make a second one, but they never did?
I sort of remember it myself. I do. I sort of remember it. It was sort of carried on from that kind of thing, but
it does ring a bell that actually that film existed. Batteries Not Included too.
Yeah, it's stated that it does not exist. It's called Batteries Still Not Included. And not only that, there's another film as well that I found was Goonies. Have you ever seen Goonies 2?
There's never been a Goonies 2.
Yeah, you're right. There's never been a Goonies 2. But people remember there was a Goonies 2. I remember them talking about making Goonies 2.
I do remember them. I think I do vaguely remember them talking about a Batteries Not Included 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm pretty sure that there wasn't, or there must have been a film that was similar.
I think it was it was Cocoon.
But
it's got the same comedy acting couple.
It's not machinery, though.
What's that?
It's not machinery. It's
no. Well, no, but it's still got that old chap in it and that old lady. Yeah. Two very prominent characters, who play a very similar role, in both those movies. They both visited by aliens, basically. I mean, even though they're like little robots, they're still from outer space or some sort of kind of intelligence, right? Yeah. It's a very similar concept, and they were multiple Cocoon movies, so potentially that's it. I do believe that it's a lot of it's misremembering or confusion of getting your facts mixed up.
I've got to say, I think it was. I still believe that there was a second.
When you said it, Batteries Not Included too, though, that did make me think. Yeah, I do think I've seen that. Batteries Still Not Included, but no.
It's sort of like it's there, but it's not.
Well, another movie was Shazam, which was supposed to be. Is it Sinbad?
Yeah, Sinbad was supposed to be doing it.
Supposed to have done a film called Shazam where he played a genie. Yeah. And I think most people get it mixed up with the Kazam or whatever it was called, which was Shaq. Where he did play a genie, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of things that weird me out. Like Looney Tunes. Yeah. Because I always thought Tunes was spelt Toon because it's cartoons.
It is. I don't give a fuck what they say.
So why is it? And it just doesn't make sense to me that it'd be Looney Tunes. Do you know what I mean? Rather than Tunes. But
yeah, exactly. You always said a tune and a tune.
In Space Jam, there was a bit of controversy a couple of weeks ago because obviously they're releasing pictures of the new Space Jam movie, and the basketball player guy or whoever it is starring in the show is wearing the Toon Squad basketball jersey, right?
Yeah.
And it says Toon spelled Tunes, right? Toon Squad, right?
Yeah.
So there's people like, why are they spelling it Toons? And then it's kicked off this whole Toon spelled Toons or Tunes, Tunes is in tuneful. I don't understand why cartoon characters wouldn't be tuneful. They're very pleasant, a lot of them.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, there's so many examples. I mean, I've got so many, but we could go into it.
What about LinkedIn?
Rin Tin Tin?
LinkedIn.
Is this supposed to be because of the E missing and there's been an E added?
No.
Go on.
No, because they remember it.
It used to be linked hyphen in ED or
well,
D.
It used to have a dash.
Yeah.
Every letter.
No,
and
not after every letter.
Yeah, it was L-I-
Nah, it never used to be like that. I remember
D.
this when I joined up when it first kind of opened up, and it was. I remember it. I vaguely remember it being like linked. Dash like IN but link as in LIN LINK but then dash and then in or LinkedIn with no E.
A lot of people, I don't remember it as, but then again, I don't think I dealt with it.
But this is the thing, I think in terms of like logos, it means nothing because things rebrand, changes slightly. I mean, no one sticks with the exact same thing. I mean, you want to attract new, fresh customer bases and stuff like that. So, I mean, when I see it in logos, this Chick-fil-A, I mean, we don't have this in the UK, so I couldn't really say. But there seems to be a lot of people who seem to remember it in a couple of ways. Chick-Phil-A, and not spell Chick-fil-A or Chick. Oh, I don't know. They spell Chick 3 different ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's like, I think it's where, again, pronunciation and where you're from and what you've been raised on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
It's like I know kids that call McDonald's Mackie D's because that's what they've been known.
Exactly.
They just know it as Mackie D's. Well, no, because that's what the parents are going. We're going Mackie's or whatever. It's not McDonald's. Do you know what I mean? Even though they do know it as McDonald's, it's it's like
you name it like that when you're naming it as a brand and you're talking exactly about that thing.
So I don't know.
From Mackie,
I'm sure it was never called McDonald's. It was always called Mackie D's. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I mean, often people, remember these things. A lot of people remember things not exactly the same way as it happened, and then they can kind of get that supported by having it confirmed. Do you know what I mean? By other people. So as soon as you misremember it, and rather being corrected on the right thing that happened, someone backs you up. Yeah, and especially in this day and age of the internet, it's like you can just totally refuse that was the case. I had a friend who we had a discussion about the Vietnam War and who won it. Yeah, and this was before the internet, and we had to look it up. Yeah. Now he could have turned around to me point blank and said, "Nope, don't believe you." Yeah. Now, if then you turn around and say, "Nah, he's right," because that's the way I remember it too, then that gives it credit and gives it merit. Do you know?
Yeah. So you're more likely to go, "Oh, right, well, all right."
Maybe it did happen that way. Yeah, because the consensus is saying that it did happen that way. Yeah. But generally speaking, I think it's just a case of misremembering or having it. There's a few that we'll go into it in a minute. Have you got any more examples?
Do you remember Hunger Games? Do you remember someone falling off one of the pods and blowing up?
Not that much. I mean, I remember watching it, but I don't remember it that well to say.
A lot of people remember that. In fact, I've got the film, but I've not really got into the Hunger Games. I started watching the film.
I watched like the trilogy, but I thought it dragged. I thought they did. There was 4 films, and I think they could have just got away with 3.
I think there's 6 now.
Is there? Oh, can't I be arsed?
Yeah. Mockingbird. I think.
That's what I'm saying. The last 2 were just unnecessary. So anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Go on, but what are they saying?
Well, Well, a lot of people remembered that at the beginning of it, that when they were in the pods around the circle of weapons, that someone fell off, and when they fell off, they blew up.
Right.
Then it's not in the film now.
Well, yeah.
And apparently it was never in the film.
And it was never changed.
Someone remembered that kind of instance. Like, that's totally nothing to do with the film. So why has someone brought that in and gone, look, someone's going to fall off and blow up? Not just fall off, but fall off and blow up.
Why did George Lucas take out, like, characters and put, like, I mean, he changed stuff in films that were just unnecessary. Like, you know, there's a call that Obi-Wan Kenobi makes to scare off some Sand people or whatever. And he changed the sound he made about 3 times. For just what reasons? Because he wasn't personally happy with it. I mean, you know, filmmakers can do that, I suppose, but I mean, whether they did or not, or people just remember something that happened in a film and they've got them 2 films confused, I'm not sure. I mean, one of the big examples from movies is Star Wars, isn't it? Many people who quote the famous line, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back will say, Luke, I am your father. However, Darth Vader actually said, I am your father, and Luke then says, no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's it. He doesn't say, no, I am your father. He doesn't say, Luke, I am your father. He just says, I am your father. And then Luke goes, no, I'm your father, like a little bitch.
Why would people think that it's the other way? You know what I mean?
Because it's been like, because I think it's, you know,
kind of sound at the time.
I think it's more to do with it, the way it's been used in pop culture, right? It appears in loads. It's been referenced so many times, and I think that's why. And then that adds credit to the whole Mandela Effect, because people will use that as a reason why it surely is the thing, because they'll go, well, why would they say, Luke, I am your father, and all these other things? Maybe it was...
When it could have been one company that's done it directly after it, and then everyone's just followed
everyone's just followed suit. I mean, and the thing is, it's like... And, I mean, if you're doing a parody... maybe you're trying to point to the idea that this guy who's not Mark Hamill is supposed to be Luke. Do you know what I mean? It's a parody version of it, and you're going, you know, you're trying to make out as this kid on the whoever's playing that part is Luke, and it's like, no, Luke, I am. You know, it highlights that. I mean, I don't know, but you know, in the film it wasn't necessary, but in a parody it might be. So who knows? I mean, the idea that it's Luke, I am your... No, Luke, I am your father. I mean, that's how I've always seen it parodied. So, and to be fair, more people who actually... These people who know that line who've never seen Star Wars, right? And they know it through other pop culture references. So if they've only ever heard it through other pop culture references, chances are they've only ever heard the line... Luke, I am your father. And for another reason, it might be a copyright infringement for him to use the actual line, and by adding Luke, I am your father, it's a loophole, and they've got around it so they can stick it on a lunchbox. And it's not the line from the movie. You never said that, you know what I mean? So, but it's close enough that it'll sell your lunchbox or sell whatever. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, well, there you go. There's hundreds of thousands of examples of the Mandela Effect across the entertainment industry, including logos and even geography, apparently. So, I mean, I've even seen people say that we've gained an organ because of the Mandela Effect, like body parts of...
Mass has got a bit bigger.
Well, we never had that there before, and now I've got a new kidney thing that we don't even know what it's called because we never had one before, but it's always been there.
All the time.
Five hearts.
Like New Zealand, a lot of people believed it was northeast. Well, it's actually southeast.
Right, okay.
I remember that.
What?
Northeast of Australia, New Zealand, as being northeast instead of southeast.
Well, I think, again, it all comes down to the education system, because it's like you could ask people in the street where countries are,
But I think this is solved on this one. Do you know why? Because of, I think you brought it up a while back about the maps. The maps, when Google Maps come out, you had the map with this, you had it differently, you had it bigger, you had it smaller, and that's another reason why the flat earthers like...
Oh, yeah. Countries aren't, as in terms of scale, yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
again,
scales are a lot different.
Again, it's all prominence. It's like if you're a map maker from England or wherever, you're the centre of... Or if you're selling your world maps in England, then, you put England the centre of the world, and it's like, with the rest of the maps made elsewhere, I'm sure...
Well,
country's the bit in the middle. Do you know what I mean? On the map.
Think about every single map. Every single designer who designs a map puts
what are they called? They're called cartographers.
Yeah. They always put a false street on or a false town of that, so they can recognise that no one else nicks
their map. Right, okay. So stick a false street in.
So you might find fakes, because there's a town in America, I can't remember what it was called now.
I'm always fucking finding those roads. I'll be like on Google Maps or whatever, and it'll be like, turn left, and it's like field.
Well, it was the shop at one point, but there was nowhere else around it. So, like, no one was buying anything, so the shop had to shut down.
And now it's a field. So
basically it was just trees, that was it.
Well, how would you know if you've got symptoms? I mean, I found this website here that kind of says symptoms of Mandela Effect.
Symptoms?
Yeah, I was saying it's not like it's a medical condition, but basically talking about like what people, in large would kind of say they would be thinking. Yeah, so remembering something slightly different. In wording or appearance of it than it originally was. So a large number of people re-encountering the same way of remembering. One way to think of the Mandela Effect is your memory is to consider the way you recall information from like childhood games of telephone. So I don't know. During this game, you'll have an internal statement which is spoken softly to one person. Then you have to basically communicate that message. It's basically Chinese whispers.
Yeah.
Until you get to the final person who has to deliver that message, and it's totally different message to when you've got it.
Every week, celebrity juice in the toilets.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So, always gets wrong.
You're pulling. Your brain tries to make sense of what you've just heard. And it can get skewed and strangled a bit. Do you know what I mean? So,
there's nonsense.
I don't think there's symptoms. I think it's a case of people misremembering. I don't think that you should be the way they've put that out there. But, asking a person, did Nelson Mandela die in prison, or did Nelson Mandela die in, out of prison? Is a question that, most would say, I don't know, but if I had to hazard a guess, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd probably remember him in prison at some stage, and then you'd think, logically speaking, if I was in a prisoner of war camp, I rather got out or I died in prison, right? Now, did I remember seeing something about Nelson? When you start, your brain just starts logically trying to put the most reasonable outcome together, for you.
Well, that's it.
It's unwilling. You can't help it, right? At the end of the day, there's a lot of reasons why this happens. I mean, like I was saying earlier about, what was it? Confabulation.
What was that?
I'll tell you now. Hang on.
Confabulation.
Yeah. So it's like false memories, right?
Yeah.
False memories is another way to describe the Mandela Effect. Basically, collective false memories is a large group of people who collectively remember something or see something being one way when the rest of people don't see it that way. Conspiracy theorists believe that the Mandela Effect is examples of universe's presence in society. However, doctors have much different explanations of memory and how memories, vivid or not, can be false. Yeah. So confabulability, in psychology, confabulability or confabulation or confabulation, I don't know, confabulation is a memory error. It's basically, it fabricates memories.
Gaps, and it's filling it in itself.
Yeah, basically. So people who confabulate present incorrect memories ranging from subtle nothing memories to really bizarre stuff, fabrications, do you know what I mean? It's basically, it's been acknowledged, and it's like honest lying. Yeah, so the person creates false memories without even intending to lie or deceive others. It's just a case of they don't. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, well, there's a sort of proof in the pudding on that part as well, because that's exactly what happens when an accident or something happens. The police ask you straight away there and then what happened, and then later on, when the interview later on, they confound on what you say, and it could be totally different what it was later on.
Well, listen, right. At the end of the day, right, you could have a situation where I see somebody get run over in the street, I'm tending to it, and you see me, you know me, you come over to me and go, whoa, God, what happened? And I tell you, the guy just got run over, and I'm dealing with it, so, you know, I'm away from the situation. Next minute, the police and the ambulance turn up, and they're asking you, what happened, mate? But all of a sudden, you're telling them as if you're a witness.
Yes.
Oh, I was here
from a different time view.
Yeah, exactly. And you're telling the police, well, this guy apparently just stepped out, and those are the words.
Mate,
apparently, did he step out? Well, yeah, he did. He stepped out. Do you know what I mean? And it's like all of a sudden, without meaning to, it's a little subtle twist, and it's passed on information. Didn't actually see anything. But all of a sudden find yourself in the situation. And
well, I think this is what happened. Not what happened, but I think this is what happened from the way I've concluded.
Well, it's about recalling events accurately, isn't it? And I mean, often most people don't. And I mean, it's like unless you're scrutinising every element of every movie and every piece of everything in life, then you might get a bit confused and confabulate a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think your brain just does that anyway. And like you were saying about being like dyslexia, right?
Yeah.
Say if you're dyslexic and your brain is a bit kind of has a bit of trouble making sense of things like shapes and words and numbers and stuff like that anyway, then, I mean, are you going to struggle with kind of misremembering stuff as well? Like, or, because, I mean, obviously, you might have seen that word before, but you always get tripped up on it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's to say it's sort of weird for me because, like, I could be writing something out and then I go away. Now I know how to spell away, but at that time, away, I can't think of how to spell it.
Right.
Not fucking way. It's like blank.
Well, like, I mean, like I say, I mean,
I know it, and then I'll search for ages, and then all of a sudden it comes to my head and go, yeah, that's how you do it. And it's I fucking know.
Like we were saying earlier about evidence, right?
Yeah.
So this is often something that happens for eyewitnesses in crimes or important, crucial events. So basically, people across the internet images see stuff, and it all kind of goes into their subconscious of the bigger picture or what actually happened, right? Yeah. So even if you were there, you might see bits on the media later, and that all gets incorporated into your story. Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm not saying everyone's a liar, but what I'm saying is it's like there are psychological things happening, right? That
because you've got to consider. Go on.
No, I was just saying, these things happening in the background of your subconscious, that you don't realise, right? And I mean, fair enough. It is weird when you notice these things and go, oh shit, but now it's been pointed out, you won't remember again. do you know what? You shouldn't be looking at this Mandela effect as something that it's like, look at all the times we were wrong. Yeah. Let's correct these mistakes. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's like someone's gone round with a fucking highlighter pen and gone, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Yeah. Like,
Matrix.
Can we all get our collective subconscious psyche in one place, please? Because at the moment we're all over the fucking show.
Well, yeah, but the way I see it is like your body's the vessel. So what? Let's say you were near the buildings of 9/11.
It's not a nuclear vessel,
right? Well, your body and your brain is getting the visual, so it's connecting all that. The hearing, so it's listening. It's getting all the info from the hearing, the senses. All your senses are on your body. Now,
I get where you're coming from
hit
now.
By that pressure. Now let's say your eardrum gets busted. Now only half the information that it was supposed to.
Yeah, no, I know where you're coming from. You're basically saying when you hit with all these things attacking your senses at once, you're basically
together.
Even though you were in the middle of that situation, when you come to recall it later, you're going to go, I don't even know what happened yet. And then later on,
more damage.
You'll start piecing it together, but it's not going to be an accurate representation of what exactly happened. It's what you can piece together from the bits you managed to glean from.
You'd be actually lucky at bringing 20-30% of accurate information of an incident that you just seen.
Interesting.
Right there.
Okay. Well, I think we've gone into quite a few examples tonight. I think there's so many more. What?
Names.
What's this?
Right. Kate Beckinsdale.
Kate Beckinsdale. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's wrong actually.
Go on.
It's Kate Beckinsale now.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
She might have got married to someone with a similar last name.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
Aykroyd. Yeah. Well, it was thought that his surname was spelled Akroid.
Yeah.
Which they believed it was since he's been, but now it's actually spelled Aykroi.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
well, that's again. I mean, it's all a case of like how you'd approach that on a personal way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like when it comes to what visuals and spellings, I think it's all subjective to where you are in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what about historian then?
How do you mean?
Agatha Christie.
She's not a historian.
December 3rd, 1926, the writer disappeared from her house when she had an argument with her husband. And they searched for her for 10 days.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yeah. Agatha Christie going missing, yeah.
There was like 1,000 officers, 15,000 volunteers searching for her, right? They found a car with just her clothes in it and a expired ID.
Yeah.
And she was found 10 days later, but a lot of people remember that she was never found.
Yeah, it was December the 4th, 1926. Beloved mystery writer Agatha Christie vanished in the case that would remain unsolved until today.
Yeah, and she never mentioned it in...
so what's the Mandela effect in it?
Eh?
Well, what's the Mandela effect?
The Mandela effect is that supposedly she's alive. She was alive afterwards, after 10 days, but back then, and still to this day, people believe that she wasn't found.
Right, okay. So I don't know if she was found or not.
Well, supposedly she was. It reminds me of one of the Doctor Who's with like these big bee fucking things, and she was supposed to have disappeared from them, but then it brought her back for some reason or something.
Well, she was announced dead. She was found on the 15th of December 1926. She was announced that Agatha Christie had been found, but after disappearing for 11 days, she was located on the
in the hotel
at the Swan Hydropathic Hotel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because she was taking a trip to Yorkshire.
Yeah, so I mean, so she was found. So what are you trying to say, that some people remember that she turned up well and alive?
Well, they believe that she never did turn up.
Oh, right, okay, so she was just never found.
So, yeah, it's a part of history where a lot of people believe that she wasn't found, but then there's a lot of people, but obviously the evidence states at the moment that she was.
Well, it's a bit of it's so much to go into. Like I say, there is so much more, and I'm sure we could go into so much more, but we are pressed for time at the moment. I'm sorry, Taylor. I know you've probably got a list. I've got a list here of 500 examples, mate, and I'd love to go through more of them. We'll have to come back to it, unfortunately. What do you guys think at home? Do you think, can you give us any examples of the Mandela Effect that we've not covered tonight? We'd love to hear from you. Send us an emailer at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com, or send us a tweet or any other comment on YouTube or wherever. You know where to find us. But we'd love to hear your theories on it. What do you think's going on in the Mandela Effect? I personally believe, and I'd love to say I've debunked it. Yeah. Now, one thing I would like to say, quick, because it is a great... I mean, using CERN... I mean, because this is something we didn't even go into, right? And I need to get this out. CERN, right? There's one theory...
If you want, I've got a news article.
Well, there's one theory about CERN being a parallel... has made two parallel universes collide, and that's why we've got all these differences. There's 50% of us from one universe, 50% from another, and this... And they're right, and so are we, because that's what happened in our reality. But these, it's so big.
Yeah, it could go in so many fucking different directions and go so deep in.
But that is one other theory about the Mandela Effect. If you know any more, get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway,
we would.
Well, I think we're gonna end it there, and we're gonna head into the news.
Yeah,
it's the news. Hey, we've looked far and wide to find the best and the weirdest, craziest news around. And God, we found some fucking weird news stories this week, I'll have to admit.
I found more sciencey, mate.
What?
I found more sciencey news this week.
Did you? I mean, there's a lot of space news going on this week, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But no, seriously, I've just found just weird stuff. To be fair,
crack on, son.
Well, firstly, I mean, you get the gross stuff out of the way, but man, a coin removed from a man's nose after being stuck up there for more than 50 years.
50 years?
50 years with a coin up your nose. It's funny, actually, because I was watching Big Bang Theory earlier, and Sheldon said something like, he said, a bully shoved a quarter up his nose, and he said it's still there. And he has trouble going through metal detectors in airports. And I was like, that's weird when I saw this story, because I was like, oh, that's quite a coincidence. Yeah, the 59-year-old unnamed Russian man was just age 6 when he had wedged the money up his right nostril. He was too scared to tell anyone, and basically his mum was really strict. So, basically left it there and forgot about it.
Yeah.
The man apparently managed to live through the next 50 years unimpaired by the blockage, until he recently basically started complaining that he couldn't breathe properly out of his right nostril. What?
It's a bit late, innit? He could have spent that. He can't spend it no more.
All I ask for in life is one copper more than I can spend.
Nice little gold ring.
Well, yeah, he went to hospital and was given a scan, and it shown there was an unexpected object lodged in his nasal passage. Makes you think, doesn't it? What's up there? I mean, I think we were all a bit, as kids, sticking crayons and Lego up your nose and stuff.
How many people's fingers would have been on there before it went up your nose?
Ew.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa. If you weren't catching viruses like once a year, then fucking hell.
That's true.
You're lucky boy.
Yeah. Because obviously, his nose is blocked in it, so he's not going to get... Ooh, so they get infections and all sorts, but the coin itself looks disgusting. They've pulled it out.
Brown and shit.
Oh, gross. Yeah, it's been corroding in his nose. The coin was worth around a penny at the time it got stuck.
Shit, that's worth fuck all.
So it's worth fuck all, yeah. The coin had been wedged in the man's nose 53 years.
Fucking how the fuck can you live with a coin up your nose?
There you go. people shove all sorts of weird shit in their bodies.
Well, yeah, that is true.
Have you seen anything?
Just
I've got loads of stories this week.
Go for it.
Wait, let's have a look. Have you got anything you want to talk about?
I've got a bit more news on TV license.
Oh right, yeah, go for it.
BBC
going subscription or something, aren't they?
Hey, they're looking at decriminalising it.
Decriminalising it. It's not a crime.
Well, yeah, I know.
It shouldn't be criminalised in the first place.
To be the law, then it is.
You get my heckles up with this shit.
Into it, don't they?
It grinds my gears.
After a report found that increasing women are being ended up with criminal convictions for non-payment of an annual fee of £157.
See what I mean? It's just another. It's basically honest working people end up with criminal convictions for something as stupid as
74% of women get convicted over it.
It's rubbish because they answer the door. That's what it is. There,
2015.
Well, again, I will say it, and I will put a blog out about this. If you live in the UK and you don't want to pay your TV license, which you don't have to,
you don't have to.
I will put a blog up on the website at some point, which in the next week or two, which shows you what to do, so you can legally take your name and address off the BBC registration. They will not contact you for at least 3 years, and when they do, it'll just be on the off chance that you've moved house and someone else is there. And then you just tell them again. So I'll sort that out.
Work, do not open the letter. You know it's from the TV license. Turn the letter around, write return to sender, and write no contract here, and send it back to him.
Return to sender.
It's a contract. As soon as you open it, it's
contract
you're accepting a contract. So don't open the letter.
Talking about ancient worlds earlier, about Egypt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that they've found a new? Basically, they found a new civilization. Archaeologists in Turkey have uncovered a mysterious ancient kingdom lost in history. Yeah. Have you seen this?
I've seen little bits of it, I was doing a little search down that angle. I had seen a little bit, but tell me more.
Well, we don't know if it's covered in gold or anything like that yet, but last year archaeologists were investigating an ancient mound site in central Turkey called Turkmen Kayoyuk. I probably not pronounced that right. In the great region of Konya, plains around a lost metropolis, they reckon, was there. But even so, researchers could not have been prepared for what they were about to find. A local farmer told a group of nearby people, basically, that they recently dredged the area and came up with large stones and large strange stones marked with some kind of unknown inscriptions.
Symbols.
Sorry, I was trying to get that out then. So I think that was basically a farmer's observations. He's just basically seeing what he's seen.
And then he brought the archaeologists in, and they found that it's actually a lot bigger than they expected, and a lot more earlier, I suppose. It's around about the Sumerian times.
Well, apparently.
And I've noticed as well a lot, and I mean a lot of new findings we're finding in Turkey.
They're saying it's a victory message, and it came from a king called Harput, and basically, so it was a victory message to somebody. So, what's it say? The stone reads, the storm gods delivered the opposing king to his misery, the stone read.
All right.
So they're finding all sorts of bits and pieces. Quite interesting stuff. We will have a look into that, see what they find a bit later on.
Defo. No doubt there'll be more findings around there.
I've got this. Go on, have you got anything to tell me, mate? Because I've got some fucking blinding stories coming up here.
Go for it.
No, come on. I want your input. Come on, is this the Gary show here or what?
All right. All right, then. Let's go with this. Been a sad death today. Mr. Darth Vader.
Oh, talking about Star Wars earlier and Darth Vader and Luke, I am your father. Yeah. I mean, it is a sad day.
Green Cross Code Geezer as well, he was. At the same time.
You call him the Green Cross Code Geezer?
Yeah, Green Cross Gold, man.
Have a bit of respect, bro.
Yeah, Green Cross Gold Geezer.
It's funny, actually, because he was the Green Cross Code man. Yeah. And, he was, unfortunately, right, he had the build for Vader. Yeah. But he was from the West Country. So he talked like that, didn't he? He was like, "Hello, Luke. I am your father. Get the Combine Harvester. Come on then, son. You're going to Village." What? You're on that Death Star. What?
He definitely.
So, yeah, he couldn't do the voice, even though he played Vader perfectly. You know, got those death grips in and all the rest of it. But, yeah. I mean, oh, God. I'm losing my voice today again.
You are. Sadly died today at, I think, 85. I think he was.
Yeah.
Which is a good old age.
Well, like I say, he did actually a fucking sterling job. The Force was definitely strong with that one. And, you know, fucking icon of the silver screen. So, you know, hats off to you. And,
R.I.P., man.
R.I.P., dude. Sad one, that, mate. Do you know what I mean? Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, who plays Vader now? I mean, I'm sure these are plenty of muscly, big, hench guys who can play Vader.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I should. Well,
I actually tweeted the story out before, and it was, so it's, Dave Prowse was his name.
Yeah.
Dave Prowse. But, he was like, he was like I say, he was from the West Country, so, like, he talked like that. Hello. The Force was strong with this one. Hello.
Go and kill that man over there.
Anyway, fucking hell, where was that from? Anyway, I've got this story. You know who Joe Exotic is, don't you?
Yeah.
We have talked about Joe Exotic. Yeah. Plenty. Tiger King. Tiger King's Joe Exotic is in the news again. Reportedly spending over $10,000 in a Trump hotel. Yeah. Just hoping they'll get a presidential pardon.
Oh, well.
What do you reckon?
I think he's saving that for himself.
Well, basically, Joe Exotic has reportedly ran up a $10,000 bill at one of Donald Trump's hotels as a part of a campaign to pursue and persuade the president to pardon him. Joe Exotic, known from the Tiger King. He was convicted if you don't know who he is, he was convicted in 2019 for 2 counts of murder for hire for plotting to kill his nemesis, big cat rescue owner Carol Baskin. Do you know what? It's so good. Anyway, seriously, I was like, it's telling people to watch this Tiger King time before anyone was on it. And I was like, mate, Joe Exotic, you've got to check him out. Nobody listened. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like telling me. Anyway,
I told you months ago. What are you on about?
It's just the greatest story ever told. So basically he was as well as 8 counts of violating his court parole and all the rest of it. And acts of court violations and other acts. He's just a guy. He's just a dick. He was sentenced to 22 years in prison on the 22nd of January last year. But so do you reckon he'll get the pardon?
No.
Do you reckon?
Like I said, first person he's got a pardon is himself.
Well, Exotic's team have spent around, so it's not Exotic himself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what does he expect to get out of it? Because
he's trying to get good
experience.
It's in the news now, isn't it?
And then just.
It's in the news. I mean, he's already been sentenced, right? Yeah. Like, he didn't actually commit the crime. I mean, he did commit the crime, yeah. He hired somebody to murder somebody, but they didn't murder him, yeah. So he
got rid of the evidence.
So nobody's really been hurt, yeah, but he did try, yeah.
What about the 2 victims?
What?
What about the 2 victims?
Which victims?
The victims who he was trying to kill. Or kill.
Well, Carol.
Yeah.
She kind of deserves it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're not like you ain't got.
Yeah. Well, I'm not on the jury, to be honest. They're all as bad as each other in that show. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as a Trump fan, do you think he'll pardon him? He's allowed a couple of pardons, isn't he?
Look, he's spending that money to get an experience.
Pardon himself, Trump.
So, like, if he wanted to get out and he wanted a pardon, throw it across my palm. What the fuck are you giving it to my hotel for?
Talking about.
Wait a minute.
Pardons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about pardons. Snooker player Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Oh.
Rips a huge fart during a game and blames the referee, Ronnie.
Yeah. I would have blamed it on the other person who was playing me.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, snooker player from England, who basically let one rip during a competition this week and tried to blame it on the judge. Ronnie asked, a.k.a. the Rocket, basically was in the Ireland Open on Wednesday, competing against Matthew Stevens, and he let one go.
Well, there's no crowd there, is there?
No, it was empty due to COVID, so there wasn't people in the room, but there was a judge, and he just blamed the judge.
But how did he blame the judge? Did he look at him and go, "Oh man, what that's
Listen, right? You're playing snooker, right? It's an empty room. You can probably hear fucking everything. It's literally silent there, deadly silent, right? And then all of a sudden, Ronnie's gone, huh? And let a little fucking creeper out.
Could have been worse if he had his leg on the table.
I feel like he's with the fact that he's
Hey, everyone farts.
I can't trust him as a snooker player. You know what I mean? Because he cheats. Cheats and blames it on the other guy.
If you did it, you'd go like, yeah, it was him.
You'd blame it on the dog.
Yeah, you blame it on the dog because the dog can't talk back and go, you fucking blaming me for?
Yeah, go on. Give us some.
Yeah, everyone blames everyone, so go on, Ronnie, keep the tradition up.
Have a bit of thingy about yourself and just go, it was me.
Yeah,
and he'd do it again too. See? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
In the lift and got just proud.
With my finger on my mouth.
So proud.
Ooh, sorry.
Right, come on. Give us some news.
Give you some news. I've only got NASA news now.
Oh, you're right. Well, I've got a few more stories. Bloody hell, it is me. Do you like giving high fives?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't at the minute because of COVID. But there's people out there who love a bit of high fives, giving out free hugs and whatnot. Well, this taxidermist has created a high-fiving machine.
What?
Yeah, but he's a taxidermist, so it is made out of rat legs.
What the?
So, if you miss giving high fives, well, Britain's wackiest taxidermist has created the solution for loved ones who want to embrace
the high five method.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, high five machine is made out of rat's legs. Yeah. It's a bit like, what?
You could do that with a glove at home.
I know, innit? But he's a taxidermist, so he's probably trying to work out. It is literally horrible, mate. It is basically rat's legs on springs with suction cups at the bottom, and you high-five it, and you just high-fiving a load of little rat's hands. It's horrible.
Right. Nah, that's like building a hugging machine, man.
But at least a hugging machine's like fucking.
But you're not.
It's not morbid, is it? Is it morbid? Is it made out of body parts? A hugging machine.
Is it warm? Is it? You know what I mean? Like you're there when you hug someone. You're showing your affection.
Yeah, but you're showing you're showing a certain type of affection when you're high fiving someone, because you're usually high five people in moments of excitement, like hey, high five, or whatever. Yeah. You don't feel the need. I have never met anybody who felt the need to high five someone that much that they went, just let me high five any arm, give me a limb. Just fuck it. I don't care if it's attached to a body. Just let me high five it, please. Never once met that person.
Elbows.
This guy basically doing a bit of taxidermy. Looked around his office and realised he had a lot of rat's legs knocking around and thought, what going to do with these? It's weird. It's fucking weird.
the smelling now.
rats high five machine. Don't do it. Right? If you Google it, you can have a look because honestly, it's in New York Post. Yeah, so it's in the New York Post.
Is it? Avoid. Avoid it then.
Well,
you don't need to see it.
Let's see, what else have we got for today? A bit of
we've got a bit of scientific.
There was talking about New York. There was a sinkhole opened up, massive sinkhole swallowed up an SUV in the middle of New York.
Fucking hell,
do you think that's? I mean, we've had them in Manchester quite a lot. I mean, where it was kind of the Mancunian Way, actually, a big stretch of motorway, the way it was built, and then like basically it was collapsing at one point, weren't it? But there was sinkholes have been kind of becoming a more common occurrence.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think it's all just because of like underground shifts, or do you think it's more to do with the fact that they're all tunneling underground in America?
I think partly both, to be honest. The tunneling doesn't help. The old tunneling doesn't help. The old cities that were probably under us don't help because the foundations will weaken under them, and then it'll weaken at the top as well as the magma and all that starts moving around and shit like that. Then you've got mini earthquakes, stuff like that happens, weathering. So the
New York City fire department and city police department both arrived at the scene, determined there was no one injured or in the vehicle. Obviously, people were a bit kind of weirded out, and the people who lived there said, obviously it was strange to see that this thing just opened up outside their house. Do you know what I mean? How would you feel like you obviously walk out your house and there's a sinkhole? Wouldn't you feel like your house was going to fall in up next? Do you know what I mean? Too close for comfort.
I always remember one story of two brothers in a house.
Two brothers.
One brother was in his bedroom and he shouted his other brother in, and when his other brother was come in, he was in the sinkhole. And he was going down and he couldn't get out of it. So he was like, and then the whole house was going in there and he couldn't save his brother.
Right.
It was like, oh my days, that must have been so devastating. I always remember that one. That one was, I think that's a scar on the memory, that one.
Right. Yeah. It's just unfortunate shame, innit?
Yeah.
Last story before we move on to NASA news. I don't know if you've seen this. In fact, I know you have. A mysterious metal monolith appears in Utah and then disappears after it was discovered.
Yes, I remember a couple of days ago when mate was telling me about it, and he was like, oh, what's this about? So it was like, well, it just appeared out of nowhere. But then you checked the story out today, the rest of the story.
So, the structure was found by sheep fucking herders in Utah last week. But on Sunday, it was revealed it had disappeared. Yeah, so if you've not seen it, it is like a triangular monolith, and that's what it's been named as. The mysterious monolith was discovered in a remote part of the US, and then just mysteriously disappeared. So it's 10 by 12 feet, 3 by 3 by 6 meters. The metal structure was found in Utah last week and basically planted in the ground and tucked away near a Red Rock Cove. Sparking speculation about how it had come to be there. By the Sunday, the Utah Bureau of Land Management said the structure had been removed, right? So, on Facebook, the Bureau said, we have received credible reports that the illegally installed structure, referred to as the monolith, has been removed from Bureau of Land Management land, right?
Yeah.
But it has been removed by an unknown party. So, two key things there. It was an illegally installed structure. So, the Bureau of Land Management say they didn't put it in, right? But equally, they didn't remove it either. So where the fuck did this big metal monolith come and go from?
I'm just thinking, could it be on the innocent side of that someone's put one there, found out it's illegal, there's a big fuss about it, and then come back and went, right, let's take it away then. So what's your issue?
Well, it's obviously received international attention.
And who put it there in the first place? There's no writing on it. It's not black. It's silver, and it does stand out. Must admit, but like, yeah, I don't think it's anything suspicious myself. I think it's just probably a couple of people who are
maybe an art project or something like that.
Possibly an art project, and see what it looked like and took photos maybe for that date, and then the week later took it back.
Well, somebody over there said, I think somebody for the Department of Public Safety said it's about the strangest thing that they've ever come across out here in all the years of flying. He was obviously a pilot. So he worked for the DPS helicopters. So basically, in all of his years of flying, he's never seen anything like it. The metal monolith mysteriously received worldwide attention. And obviously, it's a bit of a weird one. I kind of got vibes of the Georgia Guidestones, but it also reminds, and I mentioned it, and then in the article I'm reading, there's a structure was likened to the scene in 2001: A Space Odyssey. You said no, that was black. And again, it kind of ties into what we were talking about today. I mean, in terms of if that was something that actually happened in history, would that the colour, shape, all those things lose meaning, and it's just a representation? Do you know what I mean?
It get to another universe.
Who knows? Because there is a bit of a weird in that red cove. There is a bit of a split in the rocks, weirdly, where it was. I mean, who knows whether it's some significance to the rock or the area, or if it's just an art piece or whatever. We don't know, but I mean, it's quite interesting.
Leyland, that was one thing I'd like to know.
Oh yeah, good idea. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure people will look into this. But that's it. That's the news. In terms of what's going on in the world, what's happening in the world of space this week, Taylor?
The world of space. Well, let's.
The space of space, not the world of space. The universe of space.
Space of space.
The cosmos of space.
Just the cosmos.
Just for wherever. Park it where you like.
I'll let you in nice and easy then. Well, scientists all agree now that we should have at least 110 people to start the new civilization on Mars.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going into incest, aren't you? You've got this mad, less people you've got. I mean, a comfortable number, you'd need more than that, really, 111. But I think that's probably what they're saying. We've done the maths.
I mean,
to get an all right colony going.
Well,
makes sense. But, unlike, they've only spent...
the right number myself.
Well, look at what they've only just sent up in the SpaceX capsule. 4 astronauts. They've just reached the space station 260 miles away from Earth. Yeah? And what was that? 3 men and 1 lady? So, you know what I mean? It's like, if you went up in a colony, right? Yeah. And, that was your crew, and you were like, right, guys, you're our last remaining hope of humanity. Yeah. These 3 guys and 1 woman. Yeah. And you're expected to, you're going to expect or the other way around. If it was 3 women and 1 man, at some point or very soon, they'd be an incest. They'd be, at the end of the day, they'd be the mother of or the father of all of those kids would be linked genetically, and so the more people there are trying to start a new colony on a new planet, initially,
you've got to have the right balance.
It gives diversity. It gives a bit more, bit more spunk to your species, if you like.
8 men, 1 woman.
What are the odds?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, I thought that was a nasty afternoon,
It's a sausage fest here, bro. It's like, we're on Mars, it's a fucking sausage fest. Come on, guys. Yeah. Right. Anyway, well, go on. So, I mean, they've said, how many? 111?
110. They only need 110 people to go there to start up a colony.
Okay, and then, because there'll be an issue. I reckon there's obviously going to be that first kid, who's he's going to be famous for just being born. You know what I mean? Yeah. First kid born on Mars, famous straight away. Yeah. Where's the kid? 20 years down the line, even if he does fuck all, they'll be all like, where's the kid who was born on Mars? What's he doing now? You know what I mean? And it's like there's always that attachment of being the first kid born on Mars. You know what I mean? Or any planet, the moon.
If you go to Earth and told, like, look at this, look what you could have had.
Look at what you could have won.
You could have had, mate.
But this is the thing, isn't it? It's like you can't help where you're born, and that just proves it. I mean, it's like, unfortunately, you know.
I think the issues will come maybe 100 years along that line later on, because of stuff like they're going to split into certain groups, and then groups are going to go, you know what, we're not taking that shit from Earth no more. We're fucking...
Oh, I said that. I've been saying this. I mean, in terms of... No, not even a case of factions on Mars, and we're not going to take this shit from Earth anymore. It's how long before Mars goes, well, no, because we're not Earth. We're Mars. Yeah, we have our own rules here, mate. You know, and, you know, they're all Elon Musk's.
You know what I mean? Whoever's there first, I suppose, or whoever's got control of the vehicles to get you there,
they make the rules. Yeah, exactly. Well,
the ones who rule it. We can't say anything, even if we didn't agree with anything they did. They'd still fucking go ahead with it.
Yep, true that.
Just have to sit the consequences.
Well, obviously they went up there, and the International Space Station guys, they're up on the space station now, aren't they?
Yeah. They are. Yeah. Good lads and ladies.
Yeah, good on them. I mean, everything went well. I think China's just launched a shuttle as well, aren't they, going to the moon?
Yes, they have, actually.
Or is that a Mars mission?
Yeah, the Chang 5.
That's right,
It's now lunar orbit, so it's going around the moon, and it's the first attempt to try and get a sample of space rock, or rock from the moon, since 1976.
It's funny, actually, because I saw an interview with NASA, someone from NASA, and they were saying, well, you know, the Chinese, they're doing well, but it's really actually quite difficult to do that slingshot maneuver, and again, it does take a lot of experimentation and kind of maths. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure they'll do it, because they've literally, I think every time they've sent something up, it's been a success, hasn't it? So, you know, I mean, good luck. I think the more endeavours we've got, the better, to be honest. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like, it's all the advancement of humankind. So, you know, regardless of who does it, I mean, obviously,
I don't know
NASA's no, why not?
Because, like, the trust factor in one.
What do you mean? I mean, do you fit right? So what I can kind of imagine what you're trying to say in terms of, so you're like, oh right, so if Russia or China get up to you know, the moon first, then all of a sudden space is communist.
Well, not communist, but sort of slightly in a smaller scale.
Well, you know what I'm saying, like, is dictated by those rules, or the government of the country who rules it. But no, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be, you know...
they go all nice and easy and all...
Oh, no, I think they're all trying to get a planet each.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's like, you've got Russia who've already bagged Venus.
Yeah,
It's like, we can handle the very heavy gravity. So good.
Yeah, we're gonna live on this. We're gonna live on the clouds, man.
What? Nah, who is?
Well, you can live in the clouds, but you can't live underneath. You can't live on the ground.
They'll live on the ground. Fuck it. they'll do work
well, this
out,
is where they think that there's something. They believe that there's something living there, and it's in the clouds. That would be the only spot.
It's like Cloud City.
Actually living.
Yeah, fair enough. In the atmosphere, upper atmosphere, or whatever. Well, fair enough. Yeah. Well, they could do. Let them crack on.
Well, the Chinese ship should be back in December. It took 112 days to get there, and it only weighs 8,200 kilograms.
Yeah, they're nothing, are they? Yeah, most of the space kit isn't. I mean, but this is the thing. Going forward, they're going to have to kind of be sending up a lot more heavy duty kit. and
I think they will
stuff that's going to be sustainable and reusable. Do you know what I mean? Like even every element of that ship's got to be repurposed, and be able to be repurposed eventually. Do you know what I mean?
You can do that. I think you could do that quite easily. I would have thought.
You just got to you've got to design everything around Lego. Yeah. That basically, if you can use that piece in another capacity, then make it be able to fit universally. So if you use Lego as your template and then build everything like that.
Move on to Meccano. And then you move on there to an engine.
Lego Technics. Then you're into the big boy stuff. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, any more NASA news?
The University of Edinburgh have found a thing called the LMC, which is the Large Magnifico. I can't even fucking say this
Magnifico.
word. Megalithic.
Right?
Megalithic cloud that has been in our galaxy for 700 million years, and apparently it is, they reckon, like a cloud of dark matter, and it's actually causing a major issue in the galaxy because it's tearing up things basically around, and we're starting to feel the effects of it.
That's what you've just sounded. You just described like a Marvel villain. Like, something like, not Thanos, but I mean, bigger than that. There was one, actually. I can't remember the name of it. It was like, not Galactus, but more of a darkness. Oh, do you know, like a
Silver Surfer?
No, not like a character, but it was like a persona of some kind, but it was like more of a mass that moved. Yeah, and it was almost like the end of everything, and it destroyed literally time and everything itself, right? And I think, that's right, because I think Galactus escaped, and was one of the only things and life forms that escaped the previous universe, Right.
Okay.
And whereas Galactus is a world eater, this guy is a universe eater, it's not a case of that it's like destroying for malice. It's consuming to survive. You know what I mean? So anyway, besides the point. But but that's what it sounds like. This amorphous fucking Neolithic cloud that's affecting. What sort of things is it affecting?
Well, apparently it's affecting everything within its gravity pull, and it's large. And it's just like, basically, if you look at
it's a big dance, man. That's what it is. It's it's nature.
Like gas all being thrown through our galaxy, and our galaxy is getting affected big time because of the strong forces behind it.
Ooh, strong forces of
just now starting to go into be eaten by the super black hole in the center of our universe. They're starting to see traces of it. But then that can deal with time and stuff like that, because if it's matter, dark matter or dark energy, that's a big effect around the universe that we still don't really understand, and we need to get our heads around it.
No, there you see. Well, there you go. Well, we will have a look into black holes and dark matter at some point. As always, we've always got bloody episodes coming up. Ideas coming out of the yin yangs, you know what I mean? We'll get around to it eventually. And obviously, if you do have any episode ideas you want to throw our way, we do listen to you guys. We do get a lot of comments about how kind of accessible we are. So if you want to chat to us, just come and say hi. And if you have an idea for an episode topic, do feel free to get in touch. I think is that it for NASA news?
Say again?
Is that it for the NASA news this week?
It is from me,
Well, there we go. I think that's the show, mate, to be fair.
I think it is. I found a thing on night owls and morning glories.
Oh, well, what's that?
To do with your DNA. You know, like people who like to stay up at night.
Yeah.
People who like to stay up at, get a good early morning. Well, apparently now it is been traced. It is actually in your DNA from when you.
He's only saying this because he likes being up at night, and he's trying to think of a reason why he's always up at night time. Just get in a routine. You can be either.
No, actually, no, because that is your set standard. You can't change it.
Of course you can.
Your set bubble. No, because when you reset it, it resets it again.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Oh, according to science now, that it is a part of your DNA structure.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not sure about that one.
Use it. Firms should use it.
Well, I've got one question for you, Taylor.
Yeah.
Have you worked out your riddle?
Yes.
Go on.
I think I've seen it before.
You looked it up. Go on.
No, I didn't, honestly. And a coat of paint.
And I believe that would be correct.
Yeah.
I think he has had time to Google that. During the this is it, because he's remote. I can't keep an eye on him.
I never cheat. Where's your evidence? I have not done anything wrong.
I'm going to drag this through the court, because I think that I'm going to get Giuliani. Yeah. Giuliani to come down here.
That's the Xbox.
and throw some accusations around. Yeah, because
yes, he has.
The score stands at 5-4.
Yeah.
Can Taylor take the lead? Who knows? I don't know. He's coming for me.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, bang, I'll be over.
How have you managed to catch up there?
Don't know. I think my brain. It's night. My brain's working.
All right.
You know what I mean? Night owl, mate. My brain's working. It's like
that's why I'm always bloody stuttering, because I'm not. I'm up early. Yeah. And then I'm tired while he's fresh as a daisy. Anyway. That's it. We don't have a featured podcast this week, but we will have one next week. We've got some Patreon shout-outs, and we'd like to thank. If you want to become a Patreon, you know what to do. Go over to www.patreon.com/never a straight answer. All helps us, really does. And if you love what we do and you want to help us out and show your support, there's a couple of things you can do. You can get over to Patreon, where there's a few different tiers there. From £1 to whatever you can afford. And you could also, if you wanted to get something out of it, go over and buy a t-shirt over at our merch stand, available on the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk. Merch there available. But you can go over to patreon.com/neverastraightanswer for Patreon. So big thanks to those who have. Big J.
Yeah, Big J.
Also, big shout out to Dunk Dunk. And Swoosh. Thanks very much, Swoosh. We got some honourable mentions as well this week. Big shout outs to Gareth, who's been a bit poor. He's not got corona, luckily, but he's a good lad. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to Charlotte W. Thanks for the support.
Yes, Charlotte.
Shout out to Harriet over at Christabel Crafts. If you want to go and check her out on Facebook, make some brilliant woolly stuff. Excellent.
Yes, he does.
Big Papa, Mr. Crabtree.
Yes.
Big shout out to the Duke of Marmalade over on YouTube, Brian.
Mr. Brian there.
Shawnee and Chris.
Yes.
Thanks for the support.
Yes.
Big shout out to Agent Coulson, Louise Hammond, Jez, Liz Reader, Big Jake.
Jakey Jake,
Jimmy Evans, and oh god, there's so many more people. And everyone else, anyone who's listened to us. If you've got to this point in the show, thank you so much. We're always if you want to get in touch with any listener questions or anything like that, you know what to do. Send us an email at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at NASA_never, and we're available on Instagram at neverastraightanswer 2. We're available on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcast, or available on YouTube, or just check out the website at neverastraightanswer.co.uk.
Yeah, just check out the website, man. We've got everything there that you need.
Exactly.
Right on their plate.
It's all there. So get better. It always gets better. Just go and check it out, neverastraightanswer.co.uk. That's it. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
You've been listening to the Never a Straight Answer podcast. We'll catch you next week.
We will.
See you soon. Peace.
Yeah.